So no matter what time of the day it is, wherever you are, it is always time to be the change. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it is really, really lovely to welcome you all to today's launch. Just before we get into the exciting news and meet a whole heap of people, a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, we are going to be recording the session. Has that started? Yes, it has. So we are going to be recording the session, because we love to look back on it and hear all the great stories we might have missed in the moment, but also because we're going to be sharing it out on all the usual social channels. So if you choose not to have your name up or not have your video on, that is absolutely a-okay. But equally, if you'd like to join us with your screen sharing on and your name in the chat, that would also be fantastic. So that's really cool. And I hope everybody has their Teams face on, everybody's sorted from here, that you have your coffee hot beside you and your community spirit is high. Yes, 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 yes. I can't see the nodding, so I'm just going to assume everybody's on board. Yay, Katie Smith is giving a nod and a big thumbs up. Okay, beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen and humans in the virtual room, welcome on the 10th of November to the official launch of the 2021 Des Moines Community Challenge. Woo! On behalf of myself, the ChangeX team, and of course Microsoft, we are so delighted to be here today to tell you about the $75,000, and I had to get that currency in my brain, the $75,000 that are available to you heroes and those who have yet to hear about it to start an incredible array of social and environmental ideas in and around your community. It is for the greater Des Moines area, a place I have yet to visit, but is going on the list, and some beautiful place names like Story and Polk and Jasper, which technically, if I was having more children, I would seriously consider as their children's names. So yes, I love them. So yes, indeed, in the chat function, I would love to know who you are, what organization you are representing here today, and which of those areas or other ones you are joining us from. Really keen to make the connection amongst yourselves. Holly Beale has joined us with a constellation background, and we're going to do the same on the ground. We want to connect the constellation of people in the greater Des Moines area doing really, really good stuff. Okay, so here's the plan. For in and around the next 50 or so minutes, I'm going to introduce you to a whole heap of people, some of whom were involved in last year's launch, almost exactly a year to the day. So you'll recognize some of the ChangeX and the Microsoft faces. You're going to hear from a whole heap of people who are the leads in the social innovations that are part of this fantastic Microsoft Community Challenge portfolio. And then you're going to hear from people who, just like you, were on a call like this last year, but then took the action to submit an application, sail through the 30-day challenge, bing, bang, bosh, $500, $5,500, whatever you're having yourself, and they started some cool community projects. Okay? Believe it or not, my job is to actually stay quiet and simply make the intros and keep everybody to time, which is a lot harder than you would think. But I'm going to do my best. And so without further ado, Holly Beale, you are up. Come and talk to us about all things Microsoft. I can't even remember your full title, which is why I'm fudging it by just introducing you straight away with your name. So by all means, give us the intro and tell us all about the fantastic challenge that we're launching today.
Awesome. And I think we have some slides, do we not? Oh. Katie, are you sharing the slides? Oh, there we go. Okay. Hey everyone. I had a lot of energy, but I cannot even compare to Karen. But I will give as hearty a welcome as I can to. I know many of you, but some on the phone I do not know yet. So welcome to the launch of our ChangeX Challenge. I'm Holly. I am the Des Moines Community Lead for Microsoft's Data Center Community Development Team. And what we do on our team is we try to have a positive influence and a positive impact in the areas where we have data centers. So Microsoft hosts cloud services all over the world, or we host our cloud services in data centers all over the world. And in those communities where we host those data centers, we want to ensure that we are a positive community member, we're a good neighbor, and that you're happy to have us here. And so we do that through several different ways. But if you go to the next slide, it gives a bit about the background of kind of why we're doing this, how it's really embedded into our company's culture. So Katie, could you go to the next slide? It's got a little bit, it's got our CEO there, and I'm still seeing this slide.
I am too, Holly. It's not changing on my end either.
I think it might be frozen.
Is there a delay? You're not. Are you seeing it now?
Can you go
changed
full screen as well, Katie?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you see it now?
This is just, yes.
Great.
Great. So this is just a bit about why we're doing this and how it's really embedded into the culture of our company. Microsoft has a commitment to corporate social responsibility, and that is all the way up through our supply chain and then down with our customers. Excuse me. But one thing that we are trying to increasingly do is have these great partnerships locally on the ground. And luckily with Des Moines, it makes it really easy because you are all always so engaged and looking forward to these partnerships, and really putting your best foot forward on how we can make this community as best we can. And Microsoft, we are trying to position ourselves to be best suited and to help. So if you go to the next slide too, has a little bit about our different programs that we have, and kind of have this toolkit of programs that we can pull from for what's best for that specific community. So I can't still see a slide yet, but I know what our programs are, so I could just speak to them. But we have projects around environmental sustainability. We have broadband programs. We have digital skills and transformation programs, workforce development programs. And so this program, this ChangeX program, is a little different, how it's really led by you, the members of the community. We wanted to have a chance for community members to really take charge of projects and choose what projects resonate with you. You get the funds and you get to lead those projects. And so really exciting addition to our portfolio of the types of projects that we have. And I think that is the last thing that I would say. And I think I'll hand it back to Karen.
Lovely. Thank you, Holly. And I love what you were saying about recognizing that the solutions and the idea and the energy is in the community. And you guys, with your support and your funding, supported by the platform, is just facilitating that happen, isn't it? And it's just like, sit back and be like, okay, let's see what magic you guys are gonna bring. I know there was 26 projects supported last year, and we have a goal to increase that to maybe 30, maybe even hit the 35. But Stephanie, if you are there and can join us, I'd love to hear your thoughts and tell us a little bit about what's happening on the ground.
Hi, Karen. I'm assuming that's coming over to Stephanie Westrom. I can't see if there's other Stephanie's on the call, but hi, good afternoon. Thanks so much. Really appreciate the opportunity. Here on the ground, working for Microsoft and here in the Des Moines area, I'm just super excited for the launch of ChangeX and the $75,000 that we have to be able to support projects here locally. Last year, unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to participate. And this year, I am all geared up and ready and excited to submit my nomination to get funds. I'm planning of the 15 curated opportunities that we have to lean in. I'm planning on doing some tree planting. I live currently in the Pleasant Hill area. My husband and I moved from Ankeny down to Pleasant Hill to try to get away from a lot of the construction going on, and little did we know, a year later here, a lot of the farm areas around us are all being rebranded to have more residential housing communities. So there's been a lot of trees that have come down to clear away paths for homes, which is fantastic that we've got a growing community here in the greater Des Moines area, but it also means there's a need for trees. So that's our plan to contribute to the community this year. Thanks, Karen.
Stephanie, fantastic. A woman with a very definite plan. You are my type of human. Yes, I like it. More trees, more trees. And now, Mr. Paul O'Hara, who is joining from Dublin, I believe. Will you say hello to everybody and talk a little bit more broadly around who we are and what we do from a ChangeX perspective and our big plans with Microsoft?
Sure, will do. Thanks a million, Karen. And first of all, just a big thanks to Holly and Stephanie and all the Microsoft team for inviting us back to support this effort in Des Moines this year. We're excited with all the impact that's happened in the past year, and to hear from some of the project teams, that's always a highlight. So looking forward to hearing from you. And yeah, just some of you heard this last year, but just a reminder about who ChangeX are. So we're a small nonprofit headquartered in Ireland, but with office in the US. And we've started our spread into the US originally in Minnesota and have since spread to several states and cities across the US. And we were established recognizing there's all these great ideas that are emerging from communities across the US and elsewhere in the world that are totally relevant for other geographies. So we're trying to identify and package ideas that work really well in different communities and just make them easily accessible to communities elsewhere to adopt them if the community feels that they're relevant. So it's, as you can see on the slide here, hopefully, it's a platform connecting communities to social innovations and funding. So we curate and package replicable ideas like urban tree planting or coding clubs or stuff like that. And then funding partners fuel local community teams to get these ideas up and running. So in this instance, that's Microsoft. And then local teams activate the ideas with the finance and other kind of how-to resources. So that could be a group of teachers, a community organization, some friends and family, it could be kids, retirees, so it's really accessible to everyone. And then finally, we try and measure and share the impact outcomes, which could be a social impact or an environmental impact, depending on the project. So I'm very excited now to just tell you a little bit about the fund itself. So we are, excited to be launching the 2021 fund from today, the launch day. As Karen referenced, it's a $75,000 fund. The amounts are ranging from $500 up to $5,500. It's geographically for the Des Moines metro area. Our goal is up to 30 new projects. So I hadn't known the number from last year, Karen, but good to hear and see if we can trump that this year. And then the themes are the same as last year's around sustainability, digital skills, and community prosperity, as Holly referenced as priorities. And we've got a lovely portfolio of 14 ideas to choose from. So Leah and others in the on the call will take you through some of those. So that's it. Just a big thank you as well to the social innovators who partner with us on all of these different challenges, and a special thanks to all of the local change makers who activated the ideas across Des Moines last year. And again, like, great to see the impact and dying to hear some of the stories. So I'll hand it back to you, Karen.
Beautiful. So thank you, Paul. And let's hear some of those stories right now. So of the 26 projects that started last year, 2 humans on the call, Sam Gabriel of the Genesis Foundation and Dennis Woodruft. Is that right, Dennis? I hope, or Denny. I'm actually not sure how you'd like me to call you. Started a first Lego League challenge within their area, and also a river cleanup on the beautiful River Carlisle. So completely different projects, but both had significant impact, and I can't wait to hear quite literally how they went. So Sam, if you're there, do please unmute yourself. Join everybody to say hello and tell us a little about the Genesis Foundation, the incredible people that you work with and support, your volunteers, your staff, your families, and specifically about the first Lego League and everything that it has achieved.
Yes, like Stephanie said, first of all, good morning. It's 11 o'clock here. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. I'm Sam Gabriel. I'm the co-founder for Genesis Youth Foundation. I also serve as the executive director, and I'm also a soccer coach. Like Stephanie mentioned, I actually live in Ankeny as well, and it's pretty loud here. So pardon my background noise. And if you can't hear me, let me repeat it. Thank you. So I am originally from Liberia. My wife and I, we came here in Des Moines, Iowa as refugees, youth, having the background of parents who, don't know the culture here, don't know what it takes to support the kids or raise the kids in the United States, system. And we managed to survive through that. And as an adult, can you hear the noise? Okay, sorry.
That's okay. It just means there's good stuff happening. That's all right.
Okay. As growing up out of high school and being young adult, looking back, we've seen that a lot of immigrant refugees like ourselves are going through the same thing, but many of them were falling through the cracks, not having access to resources and all of that. So we have made it a commitment to make sure that we change that. So ChangeX, we believe that Genesis Youth Foundation is a ChangeX, that constantly trying to find ways to level the playing field for immigrant refugee kids and their families. So about this time, I was part of this meeting and I was invited like others are today. And I heard about the ChangeX project and I was very interested and I learned about the First Lego League and I was trying to find a way, like we always do, trying to find resources and fun and stuff to connect to our community and also to the youth that we serve. I thought that the first Lego League challenge, the robotic, the technology was something that we had not really engaged the kids into, and I thought that it would be a great opportunity to do that. But I was very new to First Lego League and what it's all about and whatnot. So I was able to, in that meeting, I was able to say, hey, who's here, who can mentor me, who can help guide me to really try to explain this to our community and make sure that these kids and the family are familiar with the technology and the robotic stuff. So that's how we got into the First Lego League challenge and got about 10 kids, all first timers, to get into the robotic program.
Lovely. Sam, you shared an amazing video with me just before we jumped on the call. Do you want to give us a little bit of info about that? Share it with the people in the room?
Yeah, so first of all, like I said, we didn't know about the First Lego League challenge. So apparently it starts in the fall. So we didn't get started because we heard about it in November, and then we had to go through the application process and do all of that. So we were already behind. But we were able to get started after the New Year's, and we were able to get the team formed. We have mentors, and I had no clue what I was doing. This is something that I challenged myself to bring on board. So it was something extra from what I normally do. But we were able to get started with the team, and all the kids, all of them were all immigrant refugee kids, and this was completely new to all of them. It was all first timers, and they were able to get started. 5 months later, they got into the challenge, learned about it. We met twice a week. They worked hard, and they end up when we got to the competition, out of 19 teams, they came 5th place. So they actually made it to the top 5.
Yeah.
And they went for the championship. Which I wasn't really expecting much from them, but at least they didn't make it to the, to win the champion, but they were in the top 5, which was very impressive.
I'd take that any day, dude. I would take that any day.
Yes. So that was really impressive. But one of the change that we also did, what I've been thinking about initially, is that Genesis were able to make a change in the First Lego League challenge because for the first time they had all minority African kids team competing in the First Lego League challenge. So I think that's a change also that Genesis were able to make that impact.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I can see that Nicole Fannon is on the call. We're going to be hearing from her in a little minute, and she's just put in a lovely message there in the chat to say how delighted they are to be able to work with you guys and support. So yeah, hopefully you guys will get a little connection there in a minute. Sam, before I quickly move on to Dennis, 2 quick questions, quick, fast. A, how easy was it to do the application and complete that 30-day challenge?
It was pretty easy. It was a little bit challenging for me because, again, it's something that I took on. So I had to spare time. But honestly, if any organization here has someone that it can be committed to it, it's a very easy process. It's very straightforward.
Excellent. And come here, at the end, I'm going to be asking everybody to do a little bit of work, which includes thinking about who in their area, in their network, they're going to bring this opportunity to the attention of. And I'm going to come back to you for a quick starter, okay? So start jotting down those names and those humans and how you're going to go about it. That's your little bit of homework whilst I go speak with Dennis. Yeah? Beautiful. Okay. Thank you for your time today, Sam. Much appreciated. Okay, Dennis or Denny, where are you? Do I see you on the call? I did get word that you had joined, so I'm pretty sure you are here. Now, I'm going to do it. It's time. We've gotten 23 minutes without saying, I think you're on mute. Nope. Okay, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let Dennis give us a shout or whatever once he's live and we can hear from him, and quickly move on to hear from some of the social innovators. Okay, deal.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, woohoo! Dude, you had me on tenterhooks. Oh my God, I can't cope with the tech anxiety.
All right. So you can hear me okay now, Karen?
Denny, beautiful, loud and clear. How are you, friend?
Well, I'm good. I had trouble getting online. I can see myself online and so forth, but I had to call on my phone to make it work. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on.
Well, it worked, and we're very, very glad to see you here. And good morning to you. So, Denny, tell us, you applied last year and were really successful in your application to get funding to do a river cleanup on the River Carlisle. So listen, tell me a little bit about your group, a little bit about your river and that beautiful natural environment, and what you did once you'd secured the funding.
Well, absolutely. Well, first of all, it was easy to sign up, and I know you asked Sam about that, and the whole process was easy to do, and so I was very appreciative of that. Also, when I took a look at all the different projects, I saw, gosh, 3 or 4 different projects that I thought we could potentially participate in. But I thought the one that we really need the most and that I was most excited about was cleaning up. It's actually North River. So we live in Carlisle, Iowa, and the North River runs through, and we have a nature trail that follows the river. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful area, and a lot of people are able to experience it. But there was some trash along the river. There was also trash along the highway that cuts across the river and so forth. And so basically, we organized scouts. We had some other youth groups. We invited kids from school to participate, and had, I think, 25 participants, and we spent about 3 hours cleaning up tires and plastic and car parts and you name it, we found it. And so we filled a big dumpster with all of that, and everybody was excited about it, enjoyed the whole process, and it's definitely something that we'll look at doing again. It was very helpful to have the help with the website. So if you go to Carlisle North River Cleanup, that was our website. And so that's what we based everything off of. And so it was helpful to have that done on a professional basis. And I'm technically challenged. So that made it a lot easier for me. I appreciate that.
Meet your sister, Denny. Meet your sister. I feel your pain. It's okay. It's okay. Us tech dinosaurs will band together, okay? Don't tell Holly. Shh. So that's fantastic that you were able to put that money and support to such good use. I can only imagine what came out of the river, and I'd love to know, do you think that experience of bringing what sounds like quite a young crew together for three whole hours, do you think that had an impact on them, generally speaking, around litter, pollution, citizenship, all of that good stuff?
Absolutely. They were all very committed to doing it. They were great sports about it. And yes, I think it very definitely made a difference for them. And so they take pride in that river and that highway that bisects it. And so they've got some skin in the game now.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I love that expression. Okay, beautiful. So two very last quick questions. Any soundbite piece of advice for people on the call who are humming and hawing on the garden fence about putting in an application? And the second one is, again, a little bit of homework for you as we're meeting some of the other people, is to come back at the end of the call, Denny, with some of those ideas of other organizations that you're going to bring this brilliant opportunity and funding support to their attention of. But for now, what's the soundbite? What's the go-to to people on the call to get them to jump off the fence and submit an application?
Oh, it's so easy. It's a no-brainer. And I looked at it as just, well, what the heck? We'll try it and see. And if it gets to be too big a hassle, why, maybe it's not worth it. But the fact that you have everything, you have the projects laid out. And so it's not like you have to reinvent the wheel. And I think that's what's different with ChangeX is you have a framework in which to work. And so you just need the volunteers and so forth to do it, somebody to take the lead on it, do a little bit of the paperwork and that sort of thing, and some organization. And really, gosh, I would recommend anybody do it. It's no big deal.
Excellent, excellent, great advice indeed, Denny. I'm gonna do a little culture blend, right, of your American "what the heck" and my Irish "be grand." So it'll be like, that's my motto going forward. What the heck, be grand, yeah, Dylan.
Yeah.
Okay, Niamh and Leah, do you think it's time for us to go meet some of our social innovators? Yeah. So everybody, we've been talking to you about these 14 ideas that are within the portfolio, 14 and counting, but we'll get back to that in a little minute. Let me see who we're going to hear from first. Hang on a little second. Kibret, are you here from Girls Who Code?
Yes, Karen, I am. Thank you.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm so well. How's it going? Nice to meet you.
Yes, so nice to meet you. So nice to meet all of you. My name is Kibret, and I'm calling in from New York. I am a community partnerships manager at Girls Who Code, which essentially means that I get to work with exciting volunteers at school districts, library networks, and nonprofits who want to bring our free curriculum to their students. It is such a pleasure to have been working with the fund these past 2 years. We've had several clubs start through the fund where they get the funding to be able to support their students. Our curriculum is entirely free and flexible. There's really no barrier for entry. You don't have to be someone who is a tech expert. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have any coding experience to volunteer to lead a club for young girls and students in your community. While our clubs program it's definitely girls focused, and we're trying to empower young girls to nurture an interest in STEM. Boys are more than welcome to join the club. So if it's something that you want to offer up to students in your community, it's definitely doable. For folks who are thinking about it, but not sure about the lift of facilitating sessions with students, I really encourage you to watch one of our informational webinars that's linked on our page. It helps guide you through the process. We provide training, resources, pre-prepared lesson plans, really everything you need to go ahead and take those lesson plans and guide your students through them. It's really exciting to work with young students this year, especially after a year of a lot of virtual learning. We hope that the Girls Who Code Club curriculum can be a fun, inclusive space for girls to learn about coding.
Kibret, you are good. Oh my God. Can you also put up a webinar resource on how to keep things simple and on the spot? Oh my God, I need a lesson in brevity. Bravo. Okay, beautiful. Thank you very, very much for that beautiful introduction.
Thank you.
So Sarah and Shelley are both here from Urban Thinkscape. And I think it's Sarah who's going to stand up to the mic. Are you here, Sarah?
Yes. Hi, Karen. Yes, here.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you. It's very good to be here with all of you. I'm calling in from Seattle today, so it is bright and early, and I have not yet finished my coffee, but we'll do my best to match Karen's energy here. So I'm Sarah Lytle. I'm the Executive Director of Playful Learning Landscapes Action Network, and our goal is to really infuse communities with playful learning opportunities for children and families. And our goal is really to think about finding those opportunities in your communities where children and families live and play and pass through on an everyday basis, and tweaking those environments to really make them really playful learning opportunities for children and families. And as much as we all love, formal early education, the reality is that children only spend about 20% of their waking hours in formal education environments. And so our goal is to really harness that other 80%. Think about the time that children and caregivers spend at bus stops, walking to school, in libraries, in laundromats, in community stores, those corner stores, the grocery stores, all of those places and spaces where families exist, and thinking about just making small tweaks to those environments that promote parent-child interactions that we know are really going to help children's development in the moment and then set them up for success in the long term. So Urban Thinkscape is one of the options on the ChangeX platform, and we're thrilled to be working with them. And this really is thinking about those installations, the playful learning installations that you can infuse into your communities, again, to promote children's development and caregiver-child interactions. But truthfully, they're really these intergenerational spaces that we think really enrich the community at large.
Excellent. All about the intergenerational and having the fun and having play. As a mom to two small kids, I totally get it. I mean, they'd kill me if they knew I described them as small, but you know what I mean. So yes, more play and more learning, obviously. Thank you so much, Sarah. Go get a coffee, like immediately. Seriously, that's not good. Okay, brilliant. And I think we have, in fact, I know we have, because we saw a beautiful message earlier, Nicole from First Lego League. Do join us and come say hi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How you doing?
Awesome. Good. I'm doing great. I am Nicole Fannon from Iowa State University College of Engineering. Engineering Outreach is a big title. But I am, we're from Ames, but we run First Lego League for the state of Iowa. First is a nonprofit out of New Hampshire, but it's an international program. So kids around the world use FIRST and robots to learn more than robots. And I know it sounds ironic, but in First Lego League and First Lego League Challenge is what Sam gave you the best demonstration ever of how kids can learn and grow as a team with Lego. And then we have First Lego Explore, which is for ages 6 through 10. So for First Lego League in general, it ranges from 6 all the way to 14 years old in the United States. And in Iowa, Iowa State is really about giving those opportunities out to students. Everybody is welcome, but really trying to diversify, as Sam said. We want to show that these communities that maybe, or these groups of people around the Des Moines area that may not think that they're right for engineering or may not think that they're right for STEM, get those hands-on experiences. It's more than just a one-off, here's some Lego, have fun. Hopefully you learn how to build with it. It's really about getting those kids to be innovators and thinkers and to develop their engineering process skills. You can do that with a 6-year-old. I've seen it. I've seen 6-year-olds talk to me about thermodynamics a little bit, and I loved it. So it is awesome. They're learning how to code. They're learning to do a project, an innovative project, and following that through. So they have to have some type of model, some type of drawing of they get to pick their problem, they get to pick their solution, and then they get to actually develop it. And we have 10-year-olds with patents or getting patents, which is amazing. And then the other part that I really love as well is we're trying to teach students how to be global citizens and how to be how to work as a team. Those 6-year-olds, as you probably have seen, the kids in your life, they're still trying to develop those team skills. And we have some adults in our lives probably too that are still trying to develop those as well. And so we're trying to teach them young. So they have this whole thing called core values, and that's a third of what they're supposed to be working on. So they're working on teamwork. They're working on how to be a gracious professional. They're working on how to work as a team, how to share, how to manage different aspects and different expectations. And honestly, Sam's team did so well at our competitions. I am so proud of them for making it to the state competition. And their team sounded and felt like a boardroom when they were in judging. It was amazing. And I'm sure Sam did not expect that when he started. So everything's laid out, and it's just amazing. We can bring in mentors and find mentors around the area. So it's just an amazing program. I've worked with it for years, and I really wish I had it as a kid. But yeah, if there's any questions, I am happy to answer them here or otherwise. But thank you so much for the opportunity. We had a few teams that did it, and we are really proud of all of them.
Oh, Nicole, like fantastic. You can tell that you really care, and your passion and your love and your respect for those people is just awesome. I've written down the phrase gracious professional. Like, that's beautiful. Yeah, so imagine what can happen from a beautiful launch like this on a Wednesday morning in November, all the way through. Imagine the generations of gracious professionals and sorter-outers and solution makers that we're going to create. I just love it. This is what
I have another term for you actually too. Co-opetition. It means competing like crazy, but working as a team to do so, or working together at a greater good.
Co-opetition.
So both of those are actually founded by FIRST, and that's what we're trying to teach them. We're trying to teach them that there's a time to be competitive, but there's also a time to help that team. So if a team dropped their robot and needed help putting it together, other teams would come around at a FIRST event and help, which I think really sets FIRST apart. It's not just a competition. We always say it's more than robots. It's all about having and seeing what those teams can do and a broader impact.
Excellent, excellent. You've given me lots of food for thought. So I'm going to take that home and bring it into my work and my professional life. So Niamh and Paul and Katie, watch out. I'm going to be all about the co-opetition. Okay, so we were hoping to have Liam from Community Fridge on, but I don't think he's managed to join quite yet. But that's okay. We do have Niamh and Leah from the ChangeX team who know these fantastic innovations inside out. So will you guys give us a quick, speedy tour around the other ones in the portfolios?
Definitely, yeah. Awesome. So I'm just going to run through a few of these ideas. My name's Leah. I'm on the ChangeX team. I live in California. So first we have Pollinator Partnership, which is the one that I started in my local community, actually. So it's an idea that helps you protect pollinators to create healthier ecosystems in your community, which actually leads to food security. So they have really, really great guides for different locations in the United States that will teach you how to plant a pollinator-friendly habitat in your garden, in your school, at a local park, or just about anywhere. The next one that I want to talk about is bee-friendly farming, which is similar to Pollinator Partnership, but with an agricultural focus. So they provide guidelines and certifications for farmers who want to do the same, who want to dedicate a portion of their land to helping create a healthy ecosystem for pollinators and help lead to food security for everyone. And then moving out of the bee land, moving into Hour of Code. This helps introduce students to computer science by providing 1-hour computer programming activities. And what I love about this one is that they're for kids as young as kindergarten all the way up through high school. And in order to take on this project, you don't need a background in coding. Some of the activities don't even require computers. So it's a really cool way to introduce kids to programming and computer science without, needing to be an expert yourself. The next one is Repair Cafe. which are free meeting spaces where community members come together as a team to repair items rather than throwing them away. So if you want to start this in your local community, you'll just need to find a meeting space, any of the tools that you might need to repair things for your neighbors. And it's just a great way to continue reusing items. You know, someone might have broken clothing, broken appliances. If you have people in your community who are dedicated to trying to fix those, we can keep items out of landfills. And then lastly for me, but definitely not least, we have community composting, which involves gathering people together in your community to divert food waste, yard trimmings, and other organic matter from landfills, which is super important for reducing emissions and keeping our planet healthy. So as a team and as a community, you can come together and make sure that all those good things that can go to composting systems can go there instead of landfills, and you can have a huge positive impact on your community and on our planet. Over to you, Neve, to talk about the rest of them.
Great. Thanks so much, Leah. That was great. Yeah, so the last few that I'm going to talk through. So the first is Cycling Without Age. So this is a program that originates in Denmark. And I know someone mentioned kind of opportunities to create more intergenerational connections, and this is definitely one of them. So Cycling Without Age have a specially designed trishaw where older people in the community who are maybe confined to their homes or living in residential care can go out on bike rides with volunteers in the local community. So often this happens like a care home will get one of these trishaws and then organize these special bike rides for older residents in the community, allowing them to be more connected and out and about in the community. So we've had quite a few of them start in different parts of the US over the last year or so. The next one is Recycle Across America. So this is an elementary school program where students kind of become the ambassadors for recycling and learn exactly how to recycle right and implement labeling across the school so that the school can kind of up its standards when it comes to recycling. And then hopefully they also bring that knowledge home and into their daily lives. The next one is Open Orchard, which is like a little bit like what it says on the tin. It's about planting fruit trees in a public space in your local community. So whatever fruit trees grow in your community. So people come together and plant these fruit trees to kind of beautify a public space and also to provide fresh fruit for the local community. And then, yeah, two more just. So Community Fridge is one that we actually saw quite a few of happen in Des Moines last year. And this is all about diverting food that would go to waste to people who need it. So food waste is a big issue from a climate perspective, but then food insecurity is also a big issue. There's lots of people who don't have access to food that they need. And Community Fridge really addresses both of those problems at a very kind of local community level. And then finally, Grow Remote so this is an idea that originates in Ireland, actually, and it's all about connecting people who are working remotely. Many of us are now. Companies that are hiring people to work remotely, and then local communities. So making people that are working remotely feel more connected to the community in which they live, and also kind of increasing employment opportunities within an area for remote working. So that's all of the ideas. Just a little note to say that we will be adding a few more ideas before the end of the year, and we'll keep you posted as we add them so that you can see kind of what new opportunities are popping up over the next couple of months.
Beautiful. Thank you, Neve and Leah. And yes, a little bit of an honest disclosure here. So one of my jobs in ChangeX is about finding those new ideas and those other social innovators that are out there all around the world doing fantastic stuff and bringing them onto the platform. So I'm a little subjective. You may expect a lot of food and music related innovations joining the portfolio soon, because they're two of my most favorite things. Okay, brilliant. So as Neve put up a little link there in the chat to the community challenge page on the ChangeX website. So you'll be able to get loads and loads of information, about each of the ideas. But let's go through the how. You heard Sam, you heard Denny. We promise you this process is designed intentionally to be as simple as possible. There's too much good stuff to be done. That means we need to reduce the amount of time spent in the form filling. So Niamh, are you going to give a little walkthrough, or is it yourself, Leah?
It's me. Leah is going to bring
it. Leah, tell me how it works so everybody knows what to do next.
Yes, definitely. So as you see up on the screen, this is the landing page, which you all have access to the link now. We're really excited. It's just gone live today. So you're the first ones, go rush over and look at it. So how does it work and how can you apply? As Karen said, and many people have mentioned, we really try to make it as easy as possible. So when you go to this page and scroll down, you'll get to see all of the ideas with funding available, which we just heard about. And you can just decide which one you want to start in your community. Hopefully you already have some great ideas from hearing about all the different projects you could start. And when you apply, it kickstarts what we call our 30-day challenge. So this is a series of really simple steps that you'll go through in order to unlock your funding. So this includes watching a video. You have a call with one of our teammates. It could be me or Katie or Niamh. You'll form a team by having them join your project page, which helps you have support as you go through your project. You'll have your first team meeting, share a team photo, and share a brief action plan on what your hopes and dreams and plans for your project are in your community. And so these steps are fairly simple, and they were developed by our team based on our experience working with community change makers. We found that teams who complete these steps within the first month are much more likely to be successful in completing their project. So once you complete the 30-day challenge, you'll receive your first installment of funding. As Paul mentioned, this funding ranges from $500 to $5,500. And that just differs depending on the project you choose and how much funding is required to get it started. So you'll have the first installment of funding. You can go forth with your project, go have amazing positive impacts in your communities. And after about 6 months, we'll get back in touch and ask you how things are going. Hopefully they're going super well. And we'll ask you to fill out a short impact survey and provide photo and text updates about your project. Once you get that back to us, you get the rest of your funding. So hopefully that sounds as easy as we think it is. And of course, throughout that entire process, we're here to support you. If you have any trouble applying, getting things started, implementing your project, we are here for you. So who can apply? Microsoft and ChangeX want to make sure that anyone who's passionate about making their community a healthier, more sustainable, better place to live has those resources. So as Paul mentioned, anyone in the Des Moines metro area can apply. That can be an individual, a registered nonprofit, community group, a school, no restrictions. So spread the word far and wide. And then as far as what you'll get from us, as I said, you'll get the funding, you'll get a starter pack, which includes a general guide on how to start projects in your community, as well as more specific info based on the project that you select. You'll have your own project page on the ChangeX website, and you'll get support from us. So if you have any questions before applying, if you're unsure whether you want to apply throughout the process, you can write into us. I'm usually the one on the other side of the support email and chat. So when you see my name writing back to you, you'll know who it is. So if you have any questions on the process, please just write them into the chat box and we'll answer them. Back to you, Karen.
Thank you, Leah. Like, there you go. So very simple. And also just to let you all know, right, that when those starter applications come in, they don't just go into the void of a big faceless database. Like, we all have eyes on them, and they absolutely make our day. Like, really, we're a small team doing great work, no more than yourselves. And when those applications come in and we hear the why and the who and all that kind of stuff, like, literally, it's better than a double espresso. That is all I'm going to say. That is the biggest compliment I could give anything. Okay, so here's the thing. We've heard the why. We've heard from the who. We've heard all the great ideas that are there. Right now, it's the what. What are you going to do to make this amazing thing happen? Because Microsoft have brought the pot of money. ChangeX have bought the platform. Social innovators have bought the projects. You guys need to bring the people. Okay, so this is what we need you to do. If you have any questions about anything that we've just gone through, by all means, give us a shout, put on your video, say hello and ask now, or put them in the chat. But what I'm really going to ask you to do, and Sam and Denny, you're back, I would like everybody to make a list. I'm going to say 3, by that I mean 5, of all the different community groups that you know, somebody in your area, who's the doer, who's the mover and shaker, who's the disruptor, who's that busy person that you always go to because you know they'll get stuff done, who, really importantly, and I can't remember who it was that mentioned it, maybe Nicole, who do you know that lives in an area that maybe thinks this is not for them, that it's not going to work, nobody wants to have it try, maybe they don't deserve it, all of those negative thoughts, who are we going to contact to say, you are absolutely a ChangeXer. This is 100% for you. We're going to plant an orchard. We're going to do a river clean. We're going to win a first Lego League challenge. This is 100% you. Okay, so any questions, first and foremost? And can I just give a quick call out to Brian Jansen from Circle 515. Thank you for doing what you do. I have not read those words in a very long time. Brian represents Circle 515, a small group seeking to improve the well-being and unity of our community, serving the infirmed, distressed, and downtrodden. So like, hats off, dude. We've all been there. We could be there again. So let's help you. I want to know what you're going to apply for. Okay, if you have an idea, share it with me now. Sam Carroll, thank you for your message. I might make you smile. You've made me blush. So thank you. And you've just asked a question. What about the music innovations you are bringing online later? You'll just have to watch this space. Watch this space. There's more to come. It will be worth the wait. Isn't that true? But of the 14 we have up and alive and kicking now, Sam, what are you going to apply for? That's what I want to know. Okay, who else? Who else is coming? SG, SW, AS, KM, JM, SR, SS, HB. No, Holly Beale, not you. Anybody else there? You've all gone very quiet. Oh, there's Brian. Hi, Brian. I can see you there now. Lovely. You're all gone very quiet. Nods, hang on. Ooh, Sam's going to do a river cleanup, urban place space, and possibly cycling. Can I just give you a little bit of a laugh? So when I was looking into the beautiful innovations on the portfolio, Niamh was chatting to me, and I don't know whether it was my ears or your Donegal accent, but I thought you said, we cycle across America, not recycle. And I was like, I am so doing that. I was like,
you could do both. You could do cycling side age and cycle across America and recycle all at the same time.
As I go, once planting orchards and rocking into Denny for a river clean. I can totally do that. So if only Paul O'Hara was on the call and gave me a year off to go and do a big road trip across America. He's here. Okay, Justin. I think we have a river cleanup project to match. Yes, and trying to get some science teachers on board for Pollinator Project. Yeah, let's follow Denny and get that collaboration. Reach out to those other community groups. You went to the Scouts, isn't that right? And some school kids.
Yep.
Brilliant. Sham?
Yes.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Now, Denny, come here, and Sam, because I did say I was going to come back to you. Denny, I'm going to come to you first. What 3 humans, who are the 3 organizations that you're going to phone, email, tweet, send a carrier pigeon to say you need to check this out and apply?
Hometown Pride is a local group that works in Carlisle, and so I'll be visiting with them. Friends of Carlisle Parks, which was the sponsor for the river cleanup. We have a lot of other projects to do, so we'll be visiting. The Rob Fleming family, Rob and his family actually live in Philadelphia, but they own 112 acres right next to the middle school, and they put it in a conservation easement. So they would love to have middle school kids using the property. And so I'll be working with the school and with the Fleming family. This is something that's been kind of an ongoing process, but this is another impetus to make that connection and to make it happen. And then Nick and Kate Honer are next door neighbors, and they're change agents. They have younger kids, but they're very interested in Legos and that sort of thing. And so I want to see if I can get them interested in getting a group together and get some of the Lego projects going. or some of the robotics. So I think they would be that.
Awesome. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I hear that's 4 down of the 30, 26 to go. Right. And get in fast, right? Because it's kind of on a first come, first serve basis. So, you know, Denny has 4 ready to go. Sam, tell me, have you had a chance to think about what groups you're going to contact?
Yeah, my heart goes out to our leadership program, the Ubuntu leadership program. That's how we came up with the Ubuntu Tech team. So through the Ubuntu, the first LEGO League, we were able to learn about all the different technology programs that Nicole and her team offer there. So currently we're starting the first LEGO Explorer. So we already got that started going. And we have the medical detective going. So I might challenge some of our high school and college students to, you know, be a ChangeX and get them to look at the website and see what they can do. I might also reach out to DMPS because we do run some program out there and see if there's anything that we can also take opportunity of in there.
Beautiful. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Denny and Sam, can you just let me know, are you happy for people on the call to give you a shout? They may want to ask you a couple of questions. Maybe they'd like to collaborate with you. You know what I mean? What's that saying? Together we're greater than the sum of our parts, man. So yeah, let's join forces.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I'm very interested in the girls who code. So, and I think Nicole knows we're trying to put another team together. So I'm open for new calls. Yeah.
I see another application coming in. Okay, I think we're at least up to 8 or 9 from what I've heard now. Okay, brilliant. Brian, I'm going to call you out. Is that okay? Come on, join the chat.
Yep, that's fine. Yep.
Huh?
Yep. We are a group that just started about 4 months ago, and we've just been tagging on with other projects once a month. Urban Bike Ministries, we help them. The Ronald McDonald House, we're going to be serving for them later this month. And we're still a young group that's trying to figure out where we want to go. But we had heard about this, and so we at least wanted somebody from the team to understand what this group is doing. It sounds very exciting. We just got to get our heads together as to what we want to do next.
Fantastic. Well, when you work out where you want to go, if we can help you get there, you just give us a shout, dude. Okay?
We will. Yes.
Northern Star is ChangeX. Is change. Okay. So, Sam has turned on his video. Hello, Sam. So you've got a few ideas up your sleeve, I see from the messaging. Oh, you're the one. You're going to end the call with you are on mute. Yes, you are. Do it again. Go on. No! Try it now.
Can you hear me now?
He's in the room.
So I run the Waterworks Park Foundation, and we have a 1,500 acre park, about twice the size of New York Central Park. It's not part of the park and rec system. It's actually owned by a public utility, but we have a river and a creek that runs through it. We have a natural playscape, so I'm really interested in talking to Sarah to see if she's been down there to see, and if we can expand that out into the woods and the wonderful ecosystem that we have right here in the middle of the city. And then we have also all the major, or several of the major bike trails all intersect in the park. We've just put in a bike station, and so there's several groups like Who's Riding Des Moines, the Great Outdoors Foundation, which sits right next to me. We work with, I saw Jim's on, I think Dan's on, try to work with the Science Center and Polk County Conservation, and we have a plethora of volunteers ourselves. So I'm just excited about kind of exploring some different possibilities and see what fits best on some of these innovations. And I also have an amphitheater, Karen, so really interested about, we do a whole free cultural series, and so I'm really interested about that music stuff when it comes online. So don't forget me.
You and I will talk more Oh my God, an amphitheater. Imagine me in an amphitheater. Jesus.
You
Okay,
can come
that's a
debut
whole
there.
other that's a whole other webinar. Woo! Okay, I don't know about you guys, but given the inspiration and the passion and the plan and the ambition that I'm hearing, we're going to need a bigger pot. That's all I can say. That 75 grand is gone, Holly Beale. So listen, just to make sure that we do stay to time and everybody can go about their day. I'm going to come back to you, Ms. Holly. There you be. I know that you are a hardcore adventurer and a lover of the outdoors, so you know how incredible our beautiful living environment is and how important it is to mind it. Is that like a massive driver for you? Is that what makes you get up in the morning? Which of these ideas are you dying to hear from and about?
I personally love the Pollinator Partnership projects and all the ones about bees. I mean, bees are they are so important for every aspect of life, and they're so adorable, and we just don't give them enough credit. So I love those projects, but I love them all. I love all the projects, but really excited about this. And I'm going to paste the link one more time, just in case anybody happened to miss it earlier. And I know we're just over time, so I'm going to end the recording in just a moment, but want to say thank you so much. And the ChangeX team, you just bring the passion like always, and so glad to see everyone on the call and really excited for you to get your project started. The site is live, so you can start at any time.
Sounds good to me. So anyway, it's not every day that your morning starts with an invitation to apply to a $75,000 pot, ma'am. So, let's get going on it. Yeah? On your marks, get set. And let's go change.
I'll share the recording too.
Be well, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Cannot wait
everyone. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Karen.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, beautiful humans.